Welcome back to Power On Weekly. My name is Irving. I am your host. Joining me as always is your co-host, Ali Mayhem. And joining us for his very first time making his Power On Weekly debut, we have Justin, Brave Knight Shields.
Indeed, 'tis I, the bravest of knights.
The bravest of knights. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, now you're hitting things.
Sorry about that. I'm just really nervous. It's my first day.
Justin, we've been wanting to have you on the show for a really long time now, so we really appreciate you coming in. Being it your first time on Power On Weekly, we always ask our guests a question. Okay, I don't think you were ready for this.
I don't think I am either. You guys are kind of making it seem that way. So.
Nah, it's not that bad. So the question that we always ask is, if you were to erase one video game from your memory to re-experience again, what video game would that be and why?
Oh, wow. So there's a lot of choices when it comes to that question. But I think ultimately mine would, it's kind of for more sentimental reasons, but I'd probably erase Wind Waker from my mind because that was the very first game that I experienced playing with my father. So it holds like a really special place in my heart. So yeah, definitely, I'd re-experience that. Sorry, I'm just
You're good.
back up a little bit here.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah, yeah. That Wind Waker is great. And you play a lot of video games with your dad in general. So
oh yeah,
I can assume that like that is something really special because you carried that on forward until recently. You started playing Cyberpunk with your dad.
Yep, good old punk of the cyber variety, you know.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Power On Weekly once again for the week of December 21st through December 26th. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. And this will release a couple days before New Year's, so I hope you guys have a great New Year's. For this episode, we wanted to kind of go over our picks for Game of the Year. Now, Ali and I really haven't played a lot of games this year. Ali's really only been playing Overwatch, and we'll get to that. And it's been a strange year for video games in general, but I do want to go through the list and just kind of go through some stuff. Do you have your Game of the Year ready to go? You don't have to announce it now, but
oh yeah, it's there.
It's there.
Trust me, I've got it.
But before we get to that, I want to play a game with you guys. Okay?
It's about to turn into a horror movie.
That's what it sounds like.
Play a game. Oh, Taylor's in the background.
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
I want to play a game of 2020 trivia, okay? This has been a really strange year, obviously. That's the understatement of the year. But there was I just want to see if you guys have your 2020 memorized of just how just random and unpredictable it was, okay? These are questions that are going to be kind of video game related, more like into industry related. So hopefully you can see them. Can you see them?
I'll make it work.
Okay. And we'll I have the answers. You guys are gonna be answering the questions, and we'll keep track of points. Okay.
Are you just trying to make us feel stupid or something?
No. I think these are pretty reasonable questions that you guys can easily get.
I think he is setting us up.
No.
What you think?
Just calling it something else.
You think we're kind of some kind of stupids or something?
Nah. Well, let's find out. So it kind of starts at, well, actually, we'll just go through it. So the first question is, what convention canceled first due to the Backstreet Boys tour? And bonus point, okay, if you can guess them in order of which they canceled in, okay? So there are multiple conventions here. So you got Comic-Con, PAX West, E3, and Gamescom. Which one of those canceled first due to the Backstreet Boys World Tour?
Are you giving me dibs as the guest or as whoever answers?
Actually,
first?
ladies'
oh,
choice.
You're right. I'm a knight. Ladies first.
Oh, so okay. So I'm guessing which one canceled first.
Yes.
We're not doing order yet.
No.
I'm gonna say I'm torn between E3 and Gamescom because I know they're around the same time. I'm gonna say E3 though, just because what I figure is by the time they had to cancel, like, because everything kind of started in like late March, early April, they didn't have a lot of time to make a decision. So I'm gonna say E3.
Okay. Ali says E3. What say you, Knight?
Says E3, huh?
You can pick the same answer, right? It's not.
Yeah, you can.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting and bold assumption. I myself am going to guess actually PAX West.
PAX West. Okay.
Wait, really quick. When is PAX West? That's the only one that I'm not sure of on dates.
PAX West is usually, well, you already said your answer, but anyways, but PAX West
I'm
is
just
usually,
curious.
it's usually August.
Okay. I thought it was later than the other ones.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm wrong then.
So Justin, you're wrong. Allie is right. Now, Allie can get bonus points right now, okay?
Oh.
Okay.
If you can guess them in order. So, from when they were canceled.
Oh, I'm going to fuck this one. Okay. I'm going to say E3. Part of me wants to go in like the order that they come in, but I feel like it was like the big hitters first. And that's why a lot of people followed suit so quick. So I'm going to say E3, Comic-Con, Gamescom, PAX.
Very close, but no. It was E3, Gamescom, Comic-Con, or PAX, no, Comic-Con, and then PAX West.
And those are the two I was back and forth on.
You almost had it, but you got a point, so that's good.
Well, I'm gonna guess it was E3, Gamescom, Comic-Con, and then PAX West.
Nice. By the way, those of you who are watching, please play along and answer correctly and let us know. And obviously everybody's gonna be, I got it right, all of them 100%, but be truthful. For the next question, what convention was first to be held online? Okay, we have CES, DICE Summit, PAX South, or GDC. Allie,
GDC is Games Done Quick, right? No. What's GDC?
it's
That's a
Games
Q.
Development.
I'm dumb.
Games Development Conference.
Oh, okay.
Or Developers Conference. So Knight, you get to go first this time.
All right. So I really don't follow like any of these. So I'm just gonna wing it with my guess and say it was CES.
Okay, Allie.
I know that's wrong. only because I know because CES is in January. Right. And so since COVID's happened, it hasn't even happened again.
Okay.
So you're wrong.
Gotcha. Feisty.
No, it's just funny because that was the last one I expected him to pick because that's like the only one that's like if you do follow them is like because it's a local convention. That's the only reason it's really like easy for me.
There is another one that's a local convention as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh shit.
What do you
as I'm shit talking, I'm about to be like, ooh. I'm gonna guess. When is GDC?
It's at the beginning of the year.
Okay, I'm gonna pick PAX then.
PAX South? No, it wasn't PAX South. It is GDC.
Oh, I was right. I was like,
yeah. So all of these were really, really close. CES and DICE Summit are like really close to each other. And then PAX South was the last PAX that was actually done in person in February.
Oh.
And then GDC was the very first to be held online.
Because they're all around the same time. That's why you picked them, huh?
Yeah, that's why they're all like really close together.
Okay.
Okay. So no points for nobody.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. What retro game console missed its 2020 release? The Atari VCS, the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, the Game Gear Micro, or the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros.
I've never heard of any of these.
Taylor's like, what are all these?
Don't worry, Taylor. I'm doing the same thing. What are these?
Sure.
First.
You can phone.
I'm not gonna call you. I'm not gonna call you wrong on this one.
It's okay. I'm actually getting them all wrong intentionally. Just testing these guys. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Game Gear Micro.
Okay. Allie, what say you?
I'll just guess Atari. Atari's had an interesting year.
Originally announced in 2017 and was supposed to be released this year, the Atari VCS missed its March release.
I knew that.
Everything else actually came out. The TurboGrafx 16 Mini.
What?
Yeah, it came out. The Game Gear Micro only came out in Japan. So
okay, I was gonna say, dude, because
it came out in Japan and the United Kingdom, basically the UK.
Okay.
And those things are tiny. They were so small. They were like that big.
Oh, I know what he's talking. I know what you're talking
It's
about.
the same. It's the Sega Game Gear, though.
Yeah, and there was 4 of them, and all 4 of them had different games on them, and they were only released in Japan and the UK. So I mean, technically, here in the States we didn't get that. And then the Game & Watch Super Mario Edition was like a limited edition run that they just released like a couple months ago. But yeah, the Atari VCS. It's so weird. Like, why is Atari make it looks great, by the way. The console looks really nice, but it's just really odd that it's even a thing that's coming out.
Well, I mean, I know the real reason.
Why?
That's because all the funding went to the KF console.
Oh, the
Now
game
you know.
console. Yeah, yeah. The console to rule all consoles. I can't believe that's actually a thing.
My dad didn't believe me. Hey, he thought I was straight up making something up.
Well, at the beginning it sounded like a joke, but then like they're actually saying it's real. So I guess next year that'll be the next hot console, literally, because it heats up your chicken.
See what you did there.
All right. So no points. No point. Wait, no, you got it.
I got it.
Yeah, 2. Okay,
Excuse
so
me.
2. Okay. All right. So these video games were announced and released this year, not being affected by COVID, except for one. Which game is it? You have Demon Souls, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Star Wars Squadrons, or Spelunky 2. Justin?
So one of these was affected by COVID, is what the question is essentially saying.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna guess the only game I know nothing about, which is Spelunky 2.
Okay. Allie?
Were announced and released this. And okay, so these were all announced this year,
Mm-hmm.
but one was affected by COVID.
Yes.
I know Squadrons, Demon Souls, the PlayStation 5 one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm between Spelunky and Duty. I don't remember hearing anything about or being paid, so I'm gonna guess.
Points for both of you. Spelunky 2.
Hey.
Originally announced in 2017. I think it was supposed to come out in 2019, and maybe it wasn't affected by COVID, but it came out this year. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 only got announced in August and then was released in November.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's such a short window. Like, we didn't even know that it was even going to happen. One thing I do want to mention is even if you don't care about Call of Duty, I think it's really interesting to see how video game development was affected a lot this year because of that. And IGN did like a little mini docu-series on Call of Duty's Black Ops Cold War specifically. And it's actually really interesting on like what their thought process was, how they thought they weren't going to even be able to release the game, and like all the things they had to do in order to make this game happen, because they had been working on it for the past like 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden this happened and they had to work from home. It's really, really interesting. So I highly recommend you watching it. Another one that also like a little Vidoc that they do is Bungie. Bungie does Vidocs, and one of them was for Destiny Beyond Light. And the last one that they showed was really cool. How they showed how they did like their music and like their audio sound. They just took random things in their house and they were just like experimenting with them and making really interesting sounds. And one that really stuck out to me was there was a breast pump that they like put a microphone to, and they used that for like a sound in the game. Taylor's like blown away. So I also recommend watching that because it's really cool, and it goes to show like the lengths of like how like video game, like how much pride and joy that they put into it, and how far they went to make sure that these games came out this year.
The kind of lengths they'll go to make sure it gets done.
Yeah.
And done good.
Yeah. So shout out to all the developers this year, except for CD. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh!
I'm just kidding. Okay,
Dang.
next up. So you got 3, right? You got 1. Justin, you got to catch up, man. You have
A
to
breast
get all
pump?
these questions right.
A
Huh?
A breast pump?
A breast pump, yes.
Interesting.
Which game did not come out this year? Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Call of Duty Warzone, Among Us, Genshin Impact, or Death Stranding PC?
Which one of us is first on this turn?
I mean, are you GG easing this one?
I'm
or...
GG easying this one.
Do you want to say it at the same time?
Yes.
Ow. 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Among
Death
Us.
Stranding PC.
You're joking. Justin.
No. No, I was gonna
No, well, no, you
No, I'm dead listen, I'm dead
I
serious.
almost said something to like meme, but I knew he was gonna meme.
When did the game come out? When did Among Us come out?
It came out a month ago.
I mean, the IGN review did, but
What did you
Because Among Us.
Justin, what is your real answer?
I don't know.
Did you really say Death
I
Stranding
really
PC?
said Death Stranding PC. I don't follow
You're gonna meme.
listen, I don't follow like any of these games. There's only a select few games on there I actually followed. And one of us is Call of Duty. I don't even play that game, but I know nothing about Death Stranding PC, and Among Us I played like twice.
Wow. Oh my god. I threw that because first of all, it's Among Us. Among Us came out in 2018. It didn't come out. It blew up this year, but it didn't come out this year. It blew up this year, literally right after Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout did, and that's I thought you guys would be able to get it. I put Warzone in there because I thought that came out this year. Do you guys know that?
Yeah,
That's I totally
that one
forgot
I knew.
That's
I just
totally
always hear
forgot
about
that
Call
game
of
came
Duty.
out this year. Yeah, and then Death Stranding came out last year, but it came out this year on PC. So, well, you already lost, Justin, but let's just keep going.
Well, now you know the real reason I'm here is so he can show you how stupid I am. So now you guys get a little taste on the internet, you know?
Which game came out in 2020? So this year, Monster Hunter Iceborne PC, Blair Witch, Yooka-Laylee, The Impossible Lair, or Code Vein.
That's Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair
That came out this year.
this year.
Okay, Allie?
Ukulele and the Impossible Lair.
No one gets it right.
Is it Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter Iceborne came out this year.
You know, I almost said
It
that.
doesn't even feel like it.
I know,
It
right?
doesn't even feel
I
like
almost
it.
said that, but Justin sounded so confident and actually knows ukulele, so I
Yeah.
was like, he knows.
That's why I put it in here.
That I mean it when I say it genuinely does not feel like that game came out this year.
Yeah. Well, it came out last year for Xbox and PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
The expansion came out last year, but the expansion only got ported to PC earlier this year. Literally, like I think it was like the 9th of January,
Okay.
and then in around like March or something, they finally caught up to where they were both in sync, where console and PC were in sync. I love Monster Hunter Iceborne, by the way. That's such a fantastic expansion. Okay. Which game was pushed back due to Cyberpunk's last delay, which ended up being in December 10th? So there's only one game that they actually came out and said we're pushing it back because Cyberpunk literally pushed it to our window. So they pushed it back to next year. It's Everspace 2, The Medium, Deathloop, or Outriders.
I don't even want to guess anymore.
I only know because we talked about it. It's Everspace. I'm guessing. It's just the one that rings a
Hey,
bell.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I don't even know what Everspace 2 is.
I don't either, to be honest. I just know that Irving mentioned it when it happened.
It is Everspace 2. It was Everspace 2, and then Path of Exile had a expansion that was also coming out, and they also got pushed back too. That's kind of crazy, right? To be able to move your game just because a giant, massive game is going to be launching in your window.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's kind of trash, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then to see the results.
We'll get to, I'm sure, eventually. Now, which video game did not die in 2020? Okay, so there's only one that didn't die. Okay, and I was actually surprised by this when I was looking for the answers. I was like, oh shit, okay. So we have Crucible, Battleborn, the Nintendo Wii Shop, the Wii U Shop, I'm sorry, or PlanetSide Arena. All of these shut down this year except one.
If you say it surprised you, then that already immediately takes away what my guess was going to be. So I'm going to say the Wii U Shop.
Allie?
I'm gonna guess the Planet Side or wait, no, it is the Wii U Shop. Was that this year though? That's where I'm like, I'm gonna just shake it up. I'm gonna guess.
Allie says PlanetSide. You say Wii U. The Wii shop closed down last year.
That's what I thought.
Oh.
The Wii U shop did close down this year.
Oh
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to
PlanetSide
say, PlanetSide isn't something that would have really, like, surprised me, because it's not really a game I follow.
PlanetSide 2 was that multiplayer massive game that was released last year, and it was only out for like 4 months, and then it just shut down this year, at the beginning of this year.
I was also thinking it could have been Battleborn because I thought that was closed down like ago.
Battleborn is being closed next year.
It's still
Yeah.
it's still running?
I thought it was closed this year. And obviously
I
Crucible.
thought it closed literally years ago.
No. Yeah, it's closing next year. So
Wow.
Battleborn is the right answer. It did not die. It will die next year, but not right now. And Crucible died in like
5 seconds.
Justin.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will.
I won.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good job, Allie.
Good job, Sarah. Good try.
I concede, therefore she wins.
Ah.
Yes.
That was a good try.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's such a gentleman. Conceited. Yes.
Yeah, you know me.
Wait,
He's pretty conceited.
Oh.
Oh, that was good. That was nice wordplay. I like that. That was very nice.
Yeah. So with that being said, there are also a bunch of random things that happened this year as well that, like, when you say them out loud, you're like, that happened this year? So I created a list for us, okay? Going down the list, Sonic the Hedgehog movie was released this year. It was actually one of the last movies that were available in theaters before it got shut down. February 14th.
You know, that's a game that, I mean, not a game. That's a movie that feels like it was released like at the end of last year for some reason. Not this year.
Did you guys see it?
We did. We rented it at home.
Oh yeah, we'll eventually rent it.
Eventually.
Yeah, it's just
Sorry, Sonya.
what Tay? Tay really liked it.
It was a pleasant time.
Nice. Yeah, we'll get around to it. Birds of Prey was also released this year. You guys remember Birds of Prey? A Harley Quinn movie?
I had zero interest in seeing that, I must say.
Well, we did, and it was awful. Don't watch it.
I wish we'd watch Sonic.
Yeah. God damn it. As far as animes go, Weathering with You, the movie came out last year in Japan, and it came out this year in January, which that feels like forever ago. Weathering with You, I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
It's by the people who did Your Name.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and My Hero Academia Season 4 was also released this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you haven't even watched it.
Oh yeah. I read the manga, okay?
Oh.
I don't have time for the anime.
Mm-hmm. Warzone, like I said, was released. Valorant was also released this year. Crucible released in May 20th, and then shut down November 9th. Justin, you were looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to Crucible. I wanted I was really starving for that new MOBA experience, and that's like there are some really sad stories when it comes to video games, but Crucible is just kind of pathetic a little bit when you experience when you realize where it came from and all of the assets that should have been at hand to make this such a successful debut, but they just crashed and burned.
It goes go ahead.
I was just saying, it was out less than 6 months.
Yeah. It goes to show that no matter how much money you have and how much talent you have, you can't just throw something together like that. Amazon spent a ton of money getting a team together, building a team to develop this, and they spent maybe I think a year or two on it, and that was the result. It got out of beta, everyone hated it, it went back into beta, and then they just shut it down completely. So that's what a lot of people keep pointing towards, like Microsoft acquiring Bethesda. Like, instead of like creating a team, why not just buy a team that that already has that track record and stuff? So not that I want Amazon to buy studios, because Amazon's the worst. Yeah, Jeff Bezos has too much money. The Australian brush fires unfortunately burned 47 million acres, and that was at the beginning of the year.
That's crazy, dude.
It is.
How the year started.
That is how the year started. And then our dear president, was impeached this year.
Congratulations.
And
Good
yet
game.
he's still there in Mar-a-Lago. not doing anything.
Parasite won the best Oscar, or the best Oscar.
Parasite won the best Oscar.
Parasite won Best Picture during the Oscars, being the first foreign movie to get Best Picture. He also won Best Director, and then something else as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well deserved. That movie was awesome. Yeah. We loved watching that movie, my wife and I. It was awesome.
Yeah, really good stuff.
So good.
I forgot that the Oscars happened this year.
I don't think I ever watched them, to be honest.
Well, I didn't either, but like but because of that, I was like, okay, yeah. Yeah, Taylor does, yeah. Shakira and J-Lo rocked the Super Bowl. There was a Super Bowl this year. Yeah. Tiger King became king of the world.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, that was... I remember I recommended my mom watch that show, and she came to me with like the most disgusted look on her face, and she's like, what did you just recommend to me? You're normally so good about recommending shows to me, and you had me watch this. And I was like, I thought it was funny.
That was the day Justin disappointed his mother.
It really was. It really and truly was.
Dang. We didn't watch it. We didn't watch Tiger King. Even with everybody. Yeah, even with everybody like hyping it up, we didn't watch it. So yeah. Aw, Taylor.
We didn't get to that bored of a point in quarantine.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
just didn't get there yet.
The Last Dance also released this year. Yeah, the Michael Jordan documentary.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We actually Taylor and I actually considered like rewatching it. That's how much we really liked it. It's like a time capsule. It like really feels like you're going back to the 90s.
Yeah, because they
really
use
cool.
like footage from that time, right? In order to
Yeah.
we still need to watch it. John Krasinski debuted Some Good News, so that was nice because at the beginning of quarantine it was very, very dark and gloomy for a lot of people, and John Krasinski is also a really great actor and a really good person in general, and I think that show is like the perfect example of just encapsulates him.
Yeah, I'm proud of my boy, and I'm, you know what, it's full Office bias, but I'm really proud of him.
This one's your favorite news of the year. I know, Justin. Okay.
What's that?
Elon Musk and Grimes named their baby XAE-A12.
Is there a way I can get out of here, or I know we got a lot of stuff blocking my way, but this is a moment in time where I'd walk out of the room. That poor child, let me tell you. That poor child.
That happened this year.
It's like a lot of the stuff that happened this year, it seems so like mind-blowing that your mind almost rejects the idea that it happened this year.
Yeah. And last but not least, Hamilton did come to Disney Plus. Taylor, get in here. She wants to say something.
Let me tell you right now, Hamilton's my 100% favorite. I love it so much. And if I had known you were going to talk about Hamilton, I would have sat down. But I'm going to walk away now because it's going to take too much time. But I love Hamilton. Bye.
I can assure you that wouldn't have been a general conversation. She would have sang every song in the play for you. Mm-hmm.
Justin, you weren't really into musicals, but Hamilton changed your mind, yeah?
I don't like musicals at all, but Hamilton is a masterpiece. There's a reason people talk about it nonstop.
We saw it live. It changed his life and mine.
Aw.
It did. It really did change my life. No joke.
We still have to watch it.
If I hear about one more thing that you guys have to still yet watch, I'm going to lose it.
I just like how Irving put on like 20 things on here and he's like, yeah, we didn't watch it. Yeah, but we didn't watch it.
Well, I put it on because I knew that they would, yeah.
Well, now you just look like me during the trivia segment because I'm like, I wasn't really following that, so I don't really,
Yeah. Before we move on to not the highlight, the what's it called of the show, the rest of the show, the meat, I forgot. Tell us a bit about yourself now that we've already been 30 minutes in.
Well,
yeah.
Salutations.
Yeah.
I am Justin Shields, also known as Brave Knight, or Brave_Knight if you're interested in Twitch.
Brave Nightlight?
No, not Brave Nightlight. I play games while fully armored, and that's why you see a grown man sitting in front of a camera with full plate steel. But yeah, happily married, got 2 lovely children, and trying to pursue my goals in the gaming industry. So
yeah.
And we've been friends for a long time now.
Very long time.
Yeah.
7 years.
7 years.
So we actually told Justin that he needed to start streaming ASAP, and that was 7 years ago. But we've been telling you for a really long time, but you actually took the plunge this year, and you actually did it. Yeah. So how's that been?
It's been awesome, man. It's really cool establishing your own community, and when I say that, I mean like even if we were to eventually get to the stage where we grow considerably and there are a lot of people, it's the moments right now that I'll cherish because you can have a personal conversation with everybody that's in that group. You get to know them very well. You know what I mean? Rather than seeing like a wall of text just shoot by so fast. So I've really been enjoying it. I'm glad I've been able to actively tackle my passions. That's one thing I am thankful for the whole quarantine thing because almost as a side motivator, I've started working on my own book because of it. So kind of skyrocketed everything for me.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, this year has, it's been rough for a lot of people, and there have been downs. But I'd like to. That's why I wanted to ask and bring it up because I think that's a nice highlight that of this year. You've had time. You've had enough time to be able to like establish it and put it together. And
yeah, I
mean, we've seen the tremendous growth that you've had, and like we only see more growth down the line because you're really talented and like you have a good community. That's the biggest thing that it will drive like Twitch streamers in general. It's just a really good community. and it's your Discord's super active, your chats are always active. You have a really funny personality and a persona that well, not even a persona because this is literally you, but you know, this your whole armor thing is just it's totally you, and it works with you, and you're not faking it, and people see the genuineness of it, and that's why you're doing so well. So I
Thanks,
just want
man.
to congratulate you on that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Trying to get me to cry on your podcast here.
Well, I couldn't do it by embarrassing you by the trivia. So
Well,
do it this
I
way.
mean, yeah, you got to try other methods. I get it for
Yeah.
sure. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And that brings us to game of the year, game of our year. We didn't really play a lot of games, but we did play a few of them. Now, I want to also give some, what's it called? Some special shout outs and also dishonorable mentions to a few games and movies as well. We'll start off by most disappointing game for you. Do you guys want to go first? Or
Well, wait. So you've got to like specify, like, is it actual game that had to have come out this year, or is this just our experiences in 2020?
your experience in 2020 for this year? Because, like I said, we didn't play a lot of games, so I already know what yours is going to be. So, Allie, go ahead and go first.
Well, no, I'm clarifying though for viewers and for Justin, so that Justin isn't like, okay, 2020, like,
Yeah.
it can be anything that it doesn't have to have come out in 2020.
Okay. Just what you played.
It's just your kind of. This is kind of more of a, instead of a game of the year, it's like our year in review.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, what is the most disappointing game that you played this year, Justin?
I mean, it's kind of an obvious one, but the Cyberpunk.
What?
And it's really bizarre because I won't get too into it because it's not the main subject. But I simultaneously love Cyberpunk, and I'm also very disappointed with it. It's a very weird relationship.
So you're playing it on the original Xbox One.
I'm playing it on the original Xbox One, the worst possible way you could actually play the game. And I love it at the same time, while I'm also very disappointed.
You can have a better experience on Stadia than
Stop. We're just gonna cut that right now.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Steve also agrees with you. Steve is running it on his PC. It's not like the craziest PC, but he's got a pretty good PC. But
Yeah.
he also feels the same way. He feels that the bugs and the glitches take his experience out of it so frequently that it's hard to immerse yourself into the game.
Right. And it's a game where, like, obviously it's a game that everybody anticipated so much for a long time. This is probably one of the biggest factors of people worldwide being so hyped for a game. But it's a game that, like, you obviously wanted its full potential to come out when you did play it. So
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I'm sorry.
you know, it's all good.
Allie, what is the most disappointing game you played this year?
Overwatch.
Oh, it finally comes out.
Allie's a masochist. I don't understand why she does this to herself.
That's such an accurate term.
Yeah.
Man, the things you do. You'd think you two are married, you and Overwatch. The things you do for her, it's insane.
Well, and genuinely, like, I play it nonstop, but I'm so disappointed because it's just been such a shit year. The game gets worse and worse, and I still play it. Like, it literally, there's been no content, there's been nothing, and then they released that stupid,
Is this a family?
Demonetized. Then they released that stupid, what is it? The priority pass queue.
Oh,
So now
yeah.
you just have thrower. Like, it's like literally on top of not releasing any content because of Overwatch 2, which is so unnecessary. Every step they do to make the game better makes it worse. I haven't been able to play it in a month because they released this priority queue.
Oh, okay.
And you get passes, so that what happens is you get a pass and then you use that pass to skip the line. So it's DPS. So it's a flex queue.
It's a fast pass for DPS.
A meal ticket? You're telling me they introduced a meal ticket
basically.
system?
So it's like the worst part is you have to play the queue. You have to go in that queue.
An open
that
queue, a flex
It's
queue.
a flex queue. It puts you in the role that needs something the most, which is always tank. So then you get literal people in there that are just throwing to get a pass to then do a minute queue for DPS.
Oh,
The game's
no.
literally unplayable. Since the Christmas patch,
Not
it's been
since
unplayable.
then. It's been unplayable.
No.
for-
Okay, but what? So I'm saying it's unplayable. So what does that say?
That's true.
So yeah, by far, Overwatch has been. I think we might break up.
We're gonna move on quickly because Ashley's gonna have PTSD.
I just want to say first that you can always expect to see Ali online playing Overwatch, and then within like a few hours on Twitter be like, what is this BS game? I'm so sick of this. I should just stop playing this game.
Yeah, that's true. Follow Ali on Twitter. Favorite multiplayer game of the year. We'll move on quickly. For us, I think it was Among Us. And I want to give a special shout out. No, I want to give a special shout out to Squadrons and Warzone because that's been a lot of fun playing with my cousins and my brother. So that was really cool. But I think Among Us was really, really fun when we were playing it. Yeah. How about you, Justin? Favorite multiplayer game?
For me, I feel like I didn't have like really a definitive favorite multiplayer because I still stuck with like Smite a lot, but I never really like played a lot of multiplayer to begin with because this year's been so crazy for single player games. But I did enjoy my time with Among Us and definitely Phasmophobia. So I mean it was such a fun brand new experience for like the world, and it brought a lot of people together.
Yeah,
a lot of these games did. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, it is. Do you have before I ask this, like, because I obviously do, but do you guys have a favorite gaming moment? Like, you ever, like, when you, like, this year you were like playing a game and you're like, that was cool. I really like that. That was really good. Like, whether you're playing with multiplayer or it's like a single player experience or something like that.
I have one.
What is it?
When Justin simped for Taylor.
Oh yeah, I do like that.
In Among Us. Don't worry, I'll post the video. I posted it on our on our YouTube channel.
Where Taylor was the imposter and you literally didn't vote and you just stood in the cafeteria the entire game.
It was it's a strategy, okay? It's a working strategy, trust me.
Yeah.
Did you with this monologue?
That was my gaming moment of the year, hands down. That shit was so funny. I'm so glad we were streaming and we got that.
That was a great moment for sure. Justin, do you have any?
Gaming moment of the year. You know, there weren't a lot, but I just want to say that like one of them is the situation I just explained to you, which is actually in Cyberpunk. So I'm telling you, I'm gonna say really good things about Cyberpunk and then simultaneously say I'm disappointed all the time. But we just talked about it. But if you just go around exploring, all I've ever done is side missions in there so far. You come across these abandoned apartments, and it's literally like a horror film in there. Like it's pitch black. There's like these flares everywhere, and the creepiest part about these apartments is you can tell they've been long abandoned, but there's still working TVs in there. Like there's a little electronics still going on in there, and the main screen is talking about a serial killer that's like still on the loose. And just that feeling of you being in there and kind of hearing every so often like glass, like it's crackling under somebody's boot or feet is like, it's unsettling. It's honestly unsettling. So even though there haven't been a lot of moments, that was actually it for me. I was like, this is actually pretty creepy.
Yeah, you told me where to go, and I went, and I was like, surely it won't be that bad. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And, you know, I went through that little crack that you said, and I was in the room, and I was, like, scanning things and, like, you know, getting my eddies out of, like, hacking it to get my eddies. And I'm just like, this is weird. And then you go upstairs, and there's a door that's, like slightly cracked. And inside, it's, like, just, like, blood and, like, just writing everywhere. And there's just, like, scratches all over. It's literally, like, it's terrifying.
There's markings and stuff. It looks like somebody just went wild and just, like, killed everybody in that room. It's really weird looking. And you can only see it through a crack. You can't interact with the door.
Yeah, you can't, like, open it. You can't, like, I try to, like, get into the room, but you can't. You can only see, like, a sliver. It's like that like, scene in PT where, like, the door is open and you're, like, looking inside. I was literally waiting for Lisa to just come up and, like, jump scare me.
and you know they wanted you to see it because it's the only well-lit room in that entire building. It's like you can see everything clearly.
Yeah, those are great moments. Mine is it. This is you guys hate Destiny, but I did the raid the second day, not the first day, and I really wanted to do it the first day, but the team that I played with, they were already full, and I already expressed my dissatisfaction and disappointment with not being on day one, because that was like the definitive way you're supposed to do this raid. Anyways, I joined them the next day, and the encounter they were stuck on for like literal hours the day before, they like showed me how to do it, and we did it first try, which was awesome. And then as soon as you're done with that, you go into spoilers for the raid, but you go into space, right? and the airlock opens and you're out in space, and like all the noise is all muted like it would be in space, and a song that's called Deep Stone Lullaby plays with like this monologue of like the character that like owns like the facility. And it's such a beautiful song, and just being in space, it's like I'm gonna show you guys the song after this, but like it was such an amazing moment. And ask any Destiny player who played the raid, that moment literally took your breath away. So like I know that sounds super cheesy, but that was huge.
We'll get to talking about it eventually, but with my experience with Hades, I know exactly what you're talking about. Music makes everything, changes everything. If they choose the right song, changes everything. Yeah. So I'm curious. I do want to see that.
Yeah. I'll definitely show it to you. And then the other moment that I wanted to sneak into was the automatic love mission in Cyberpunk, the one I told you about it in the clouds. So Justin didn't get to experience it, but when you do this mission, you're supposed to choose these dolls, and you know, if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. And just the dialogue that you have with the doll you choose, I chose Sky. And the dialogue that she has and just everything like that was just something that I was not expecting. I was expecting it to just be a sex scene, but it was like literally one of the most beautiful moments I've had, like just in a dialogue in that game. So like that really like stuck with me. So the next day where I texted you, and then it found out that you didn't even get to experience that.
We were talking, long story short, we were talking about it, but I thought I was being clever and avoided going into that room. And I thought I was like, oh, I'm taking the different route and just sneaking into the whole building and finding things out. And we come to find out that you can do that and do what I just did. So I just missed a really cool, intimate part of the game. So that's cool, you know?
Yeah. I would if you do have a save load up, like go back and try to do that, or just like when you go back and you play the game, because I do feel like that moment's really, really nice. So let's move on. Games that you thought you weren't going to like but ended up loving. For I think for me and Allie, Animal Crossing was a pretty good choice.
I never thought I wouldn't dislike it. I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
My choice would actually be Among Us.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I had no interest in it. Everyone kept talking about it. I saw it and I was like, even the first round we played, me and Rona got imposters immediately, having no idea what that meant. Both jumped into a vent and immediately got called out as imposters. And I remember just being pissed because I'm like, here you guys are throwing us into a game we don't understand. Now how do you know we're the bad guys? What did we do wrong? Like, I remember just like first round I was just pissed. I was like, I don't even want to play this. This is whatever. Ended up loving it, but I had like no interest, because the first game was like shit. I was so annoyed.
I just want to talk about that one point in time where we all carried on with the game, right? And no imposters have been voted off yet. And who was it that called a meeting and was just like, I just want to say how we're all doing a really great job right now.
It was Jordan.
Yeah, just completely stopped the game to congratulate everybody for doing so well. It's like, okay, dude.
Like we were in the middle of tasks and you call us in for that. Yeah, I think we voted him off, and he was like, fine. Like he said something. He was like, you guys are sheep or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah. So
mine.
Sorry. Oh, we missed one. Anyways, but yeah, Katana Zero. And go ahead.
Oh, so mine actually was Genshin. It was Genshin Impact, because I actively talked about how I thought it looked dumb and I didn't like it for a while, and then I tried it and I was just like, okay, this isn't so bad. It's kind of like I don't know if you guys seen that meme with Thanos where it's like, try sushi, and he's like, I don't want it, and they shove it in his mouth and he's like, oh. that's kind of like what it was. So I tried it and I had a lot of fun with it, but much like Overwatch, I played way too much of it and I just completely fell off. And I'm not really playing it now, but it's a game that definitely surprised me because I didn't think I was gonna like it at all.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised when you said you were playing that game.
I did that with Animal Crossing, overplayed it. Like, I hate to even look at it now.
Yeah. Underrated game of the year. I also want to give a shout out to Twitter user Entra Galactic, who said World of Horror. Have you guys heard of this game?
No.
I didn't either until I looked it up. It's got a perfect 10 out of 10 on Steam.
What?
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with?
Never even heard of this.
Are you guys familiar with the Japanese horror artist, the one that like is really like Ito? Yeah, that. It's literally basically like it's a love song, a love letter to like that like artist, and uses a lot of that art in this game.
I actually, he had an exhibit when we were in Japan, and that's one of the things I wanted to go and see.
Oh.
But we never made it to that area of town.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I like that art's grotesque, and I love it.
Yeah, so that's apparently a game that came out this year, and he said that it's underrated. And I mean, 10 out of 10 on Steam. Like, that's not a lot of games that are like that.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Steam is like, those people are savage on those reviews.
Yeah.
They don't mess around. So
Yeah. So yeah, definitely did that. Any game that you think that was underrated this year, Justin?
So it hasn't even been out that long, but because of all the games that have come out, it's kind of been overshadowed. But Immortals Phoenix Rising is actually a really solid game. Like, it's puzzles and everything. Anybody who's actually actively playing the game will tell you it's a lot of fun. But since so many games came out at the same time, you know, Valhalla and Cyberpunk and all those games, they're just people kind of glossed over it and kept going, myself included. I haven't gone back to it yet because it's an open world game, and that's a lot to take on when you've got other open world games. But yeah, definitely that game. I would say if you haven't tried it at all yet, you should definitely play it.
Yeah, you've been streaming it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now there was a lot of games that came out this year, but I mean, there are, you know, games that you can't get to. You can't get to all of them, right? So, what game do you wish you would have played, Justin or Allie? Is there a game that came out this year you're like, I wish I would have played that due to not having enough time, having too many games, money?
You said doo-doo.
Yeah. Or being a console exclusive or something. Justin?
Oh.
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls.
I am so sad that I did not get to experience Demon Souls with the rest of the world, and that's a game that I really wanted to put on my channel, on my Twitch channel, because I'm like, it's literally made for me, and like the whole thing we got going on. But yeah, I still really want to play it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I told Allie, and I've said it on the podcast before, that the only reason why I would want to get a PlayStation 5 at launch was for Demon Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales. And then also just to play the other Spider-Man as well. But I mean, the PlayStation 5s are so hard to come by. Like they do go on sale on like Best Buy and Walmart, but like they go like that. You know, you have a better chance getting an Xbox Series X than you do then a PlayStation 5. Hades is also another game that actually, after a lot of people played it and a lot of people hyped it up, like, and seeing it, I'm not really a roguelike fan, but that game looks so beautiful, and the music and the art style is so like, it's just like captivating that I really want to play it. And I have a PC, I can play it there, but I don't really like playing games like that on my PC.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter. Cast aside anything you know about your experience with roguelikes. Like, I'm dead serious. Yeah. That game you'll be like, well, this is kind of nice. I actually kind of like this game. Like, it's in a realm of its own. Like, it really is. It's such a beautiful game. Everything about it.
TV shows. This was a year where we watched a lot of TV shows, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have some stuff that Allie's been really hyped up about.
Wait, can I start with my like weird one that people are just gonna be like,
yeah,
and, like, give me really weird looks and be like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, so of course quarantine happened, right? So, you know, you literally start to run out of shit to watch. So I was like, shitty reality TV show. We all know it's a guilty pleasure. I love it. So I started watching Netflix's Too Hot to Handle. Have you guys seen it?
God.
It's right? It sounds like it's just a really obnoxious like love show. Where, you know, y'all all get on the island, we all get drunk, we all like.
So the premise of the game is like, you're stuck on an island with beautiful people, and you can't have any sort of intimate relationship with them regardless, because if you do, you lose money. And it's also depending on what you do. So a kiss is like, you know, X amount of money,
$50.
Yeah, having sex is
like $1,000.
Yeah, and it's
like a bundle.
It's an accumulated prize pool that everybody is sharing. So if they can last a set amount of time without like having any sort of, what's it called? They get whatever money that they have left, basically.
Any sort of like connection?
Just like any, like, even like, I think even like touching, right? Or like
touch. Oh yeah, but also you can't like masturbate. Like, you literally can't even do anything to yourself though.
See, I was gonna say you could just send in any gamer, but that's where you lost.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the premise of it.
But so that, right, and this premise, and it sounds ridiculous, and it just sounds like it's just gonna be another like reality TV show. It was genuinely so good. Like, I know this sounds so ridiculous, but the show goes into this like really deep meaning of like of it being like beyond that and about like loving yourself. And like these people, like it's almost like therapy. Like these people start going through these like things that scarred them and why they feel like they need this like physical touch to like,
or why they move on quickly,
or why yeah.
they,
And it like it turned, but like I literally went into this thinking it was just gonna be this, and like I watched, I was just like, I just don't know how to explain it. It sounds so stupid, but it was like amazing. Like you just saw like these crazy changes in these people, and it was like watching someone go through therapy, but in like the most amazing way. Like it's a weird, I can't even explain it. Like
you have to watch it.
Yeah, like, but like it's one of those weird things that like I actually recommend people watching. It's such it because it's like you go in with this like I know what this show's gonna be, and then it's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unlike any other like reality TV show I've watched, and it was I finished it feeling like really good. It was the weirdest mind of like I expect this, and it was like something completely different. So
well, like I scoff at it, but we watched 90 Day Fiance, so I mean, we might as well.
You guys should. Like I said, it's weird. It's just this weird like, and we kind of ruined it by being like, oh, it's about self love, like because you start to like discover that halfway through what the show is really aiming to do to these people. But it's like it's great. It's like a really oddly positive show. It's not just like the normal like Rock of Love, like or like
oh, watch these like the drama of people hooking up or something.
Yeah, it turns into like something completely different. I hope they do more seasons of it because it was just really nice.
Yeah, it was a really interesting experiment, and I think that it, like Ali said,
I think it was successful in what they were trying to accomplish.
Goes off into something you didn't even think about. High Scores was also a documentary that came out this year, similar to about like the toys that made us, and it goes over like literally like the eras of like video games from the beginning up to like basically Doom is where they stopped. But if you guys haven't seen High Scores, like definitely check it out. You watched it? Yeah.
Yeah, we checked it out.
So good.
Yeah. A show that we watched this year, and Ali didn't think that she was actually gonna like it, but we freaking loved, and you guys finally loved too, is What We Do in the Shadows. Season 2 came out this year, and we watched the from the beginning to season 2, and what a great show.
Oh, that was just this year. Season 2.
Season 2 came out this year.
Oh wow, yeah, dude, that show's awesome. That they recommended that show to us because we're like really huge fans of The Office, and it has a similar like filming style. It was awesome. The characters in there, like it was instant. First episode, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like this show.
Ali?
In The Good Place.
Yeah,
which you guys do need to watch.
Season 4 came out this year.
Finally, the series wrapped, and it was literally like I cried so hard at the end.
Yeah,
that's another show that like kind of starts going places you don't necessarily expect. You think like you got to figure it out, and then it just keeps like it's very deep for a very comedic show. It gets very, very deep, and it's all about philosophy and like choices you make, and it makes you really think about stuff. I just remember the end of the last episode, me and Irving literally just like I cried, and then we literally just sat there and we just were like it's one of those shows that just makes you just think after it, and it just really like sits with you. Great.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Like that the thing with like shows like that is like they can overstay their welcome, and this show did not. This show like
long enough
had its 4 seasons. It almost got to that point just because of like how they end season 2 and 3, but I'm glad that they stopped it there and they said this is a good ending point. And the creator of that show, he did I think Parks and Rec and some another show as well, and he's really good at doing finales. And this is just another like notch on the belt for him because what a fantastic finale! It felt really satisfying, and you felt good. You felt good of it ending. You weren't like, oh, I want more, or like they could have gone somewhere else. It was just good. So highly recommend the Good Place. Definitely watch it. And then of course The Mandalorian came out. Season 2 came out this year, and I know you haven't watched it, but it's really good. And it's crazy that this is literally one of the best piece of Star Wars that we have in the world, and I mean like the whole Star Wars universe. It's so good. So I highly recommend it.
Have you watched it at all? Or
I've watched. I only ended up watching the first 2 episodes. I know it's heresy, but we just have. It's just that you have a huge backlog of shows. It's just like video games, you know what I mean? So eventually I'll be able to get around and just straight up binge watch it. You know, Taylor's dad says I can literally finish the whole thing in like a day if I'm really trying to like binge watch it.
Yeah.
You could,
easy.
And then the last one that Ali has on the list is The Great, and you have 1 minute to talk about it. Go.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So The Great is, I think it's a Hulu show, and it's about Catherine the Great, the Queen. And it's funny because I started watching it again, just like, quarantine, just throwing stuff on, and I actually didn't really like it at first. Like the humor didn't really get me, but I'm glad it's one of those shows like that. Like even though it didn't like catch me right away, I'm glad I watched it to completion because the buildup of it was just really good, and the ending was very satisfying. And like in it is, I think it's Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult, and who are like really, really good actors. So like even though I didn't really like the humor of the show per se, they were so good that I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't like take my eyes off of it. And like I said, it was just, I mean, if you know anything about history, you know where it ends and what happens at the end. But I didn't. I didn't know like the historical background of it. So I was very surprised as to where it went. But I just remember like the last episode, it was just one of those moments where you're just like shocked, but like it's like such a like good conclusion. And it was just another one of those shows that just kind of made me think a few days after. It's also another one of those shows too, though, that I'm like, it ends not necessarily on a cliffhanger. You know what happened, even though it doesn't directly show it or say what happens. And I just hope that that's where it ends. I hope they don't try to do a second series because it just won't work. It's like, it's perfect just as it is. Like I said, it's just weird because it's like, I didn't like it at first, but just watching it to completion, it's just one of those shows. I'm glad I stuck with it because the payoff was so good.
For me and my wife, it was definitely Dexter. It's an older show, but I never finished it. I watched a lot of it, but never finished it. And Taylor had never seen it, but that show is awesome. And there's like this running theme in their pizza night, and we would always like order pizza and watch the show, and we kind of like really missed that. It's just a show that even though it's about like a serial killer, it like brought us together a lot, and it's really crazy.
Oh,
but it's one of those shows, much like Breaking Bad, where when it's done, you're like, I gotta find something else like this. Like I need to find something else that's just as good as this. It's an awesome show, and I can't wait for the supposed next season they're doing.
Yeah, supposed next season. We're gonna skip by a couple of these because we're running low on time. But favorite movie? We didn't watch a lot of movies this year, and we obviously had a disappointment with Birds of Prey, which is our disappointing movie of the year. But Parasite we watched this year, and I know that came out last year, but man, what an amazing movie. Holy crap. Yeah. I think we watched it around the same time, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we did actually, because we ended up talking about it. Yeah, it was a really good movie, especially as a theater experience. It's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Disappointing movies, Birds of Prey for us. What game got you through 2020, Justin? There's like a game that you went to and you're just like, that got me through these.
So it was kind of like in increments, right? For the most part, it was Animal Crossing. In the beginning, I played Animal Crossing very heavily, but then like in spurts, it was like Among Us, Phasmophobia, and now Minecraft with Allie. We've had some really good times in that game. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was Allie's gaming moment. It was gonna be I don't even want to butcher it. I don't even want to butcher it. What is it?
Butter Benjamin, Butter Biscuit Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
No, Butter Bread Benjamin.
Butter Bread Benjamin.
And Sally.
Beet Soup Sally.
Beet Soup Sally.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about the rabbit?
Oh my god.
You wanna
that was pretty. That is pretty. I like how all of my gaming moments are with Justin for my highlights of the year, not my husband. I mean, yeah, we might have trapped a rabbit in our house, and then made it our prisoner. And then we tried to build it a patio outside so we could have some fresh air. And then it escaped.
And that was the last mistake
I was not,
made.
yeah. I wasn't having it, so I chased it and I murdered it. And then me and Justin, we have a shared bedroom in the game, and we put its eyeballs and its skin in some frames and put them all above our bed.
Sounds so
And then another rabbit just happened to jump into the house. So we trapped that one, and we built its prison so that when it looks into our bedroom, it sees its fallen comrade. So it knows that if it escapes, that's its fate. So
it's forever doomed to see what happened to its ancestor when it had the inclination to believe that it could escape us and have a free life. Not on our watch.
Well,
nope.
Quickly move on. Well, games that got me through the year. Warzone and Valorant. You guys have been playing Minecraft. Link's Awakening. That's a game we actually play together. Yeah.
Well, like Justin said, I kind of had the same thing where it wasn't necessarily one game that got me through. It was like in increments.
Yeah.
Like I was the same thing. Like release to about August, I like obsessively played Animal Crossing. And then I started doing Among Us for a little bit on the weekends. And then I discovered Forager. That one was really good for like a month. I was like really addicted. And then we've popped back into Minecraft, and that's been super duper fun. Yeah. So, and it's a lot of older games, but just kind of games that have like been the right for me at that moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most important part. It doesn't matter what game you played as long as it got you through the year, because this year sucked. Do you have a most anticipated game of next year, Justin?
Yes, actually. There's been some recent like not so great news about it, but actually it's Vampire the Masquerade, I think is what it's called. Bloodlines. I really want to play that game. I'm like super, because they showed like the first person fighting system of it and everything, and I think vampires are cool. So, but yeah, they just talked about one of like a really important person who ended up leaving the development team. So,
man, yeah.
But that's the one I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, it turns out, at least better than Cyberpunk's release. But,
yeah. I think that's a Xbox exclusive as well. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't even known that.
Yeah. It got showed off at their the Xbox showcase. That was one of them, including one of my anticipated games of next year, The Medium. It was actually pushed back until next year. It was supposed to come out this year, got pushed back to next year. Medium plays two. It's really interesting how they play two different games at once. Basically, it really shows the power of the Series X, and then it's also a horror game that's very reminiscent of Silent Hill. It even has the original composer of the Silent Hill soundtrack. Is doing the music for this as well.
Oh, wow.
So if you are a fan of Silent Hill, definitely check it out. Also an Xbox exclusive. We're not sponsored. We've talked about this a lot. Halo Infinite is also coming out next year. Rumor is it's coming out November 15th, which is the anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved. So it lands on a Friday. So it's literally perfect. Like they have to release it on that day. And we already know that it's coming in the fall. So take as much time as you need, but please release it on that day. And this is not a confirmed date, but
I am manifesting Pokemon Snap. Manifesting that for a 2021 release.
Pokemon Snap. Yeah. You excited for Pokemon Snap, Justin?
Oh, snap. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm pretty excited that it's making its return.
Nice. And that brings us to Game of the Year. We don't need that because I didn't have anything written on there for Game of the Year. I have gone back and forth with my choice, but I want to hear your guys' choice first. Allie?
Overwatch.
No, you can't pick Overwatch.
Stop.
What else do I have?
What else do I have?
But my abusive relationship with Overwatch.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, Justin, how about you?
Hades, easily. Hades is so good, and I'm really not kidding. I've never been like this about a game. Seriously, play that game, and you will see what I'm talking about. It's much like what you were talking about earlier. While I was streaming Hades, we came across a point. It's in Eurydice's room. You come into her room and she's like singing, and this is the thing about their games. They always have like a really good singing segment in there. But I came into that room and she started singing, and I quite literally put down the controller and just sat there and listened to her sing for like a solid 10 minutes with the stream. It was one of the most impactful moments I think I've ever had in a game. It was, man, the art style, the voice acting, and the music of that game is just like second to none. It's so good. It has no right being as good as it is. I'm like not even kidding.
Developer Supergiant Games, right? Mm-hmm. They also did Transistor, and they also did Bastion. So, and IGN gave them Game of the Year, and a lot of people are like, "What the heck? Why isn't it Last of Us Part 2 or whatever?"
Why are you Eli?
Isn't it Last of Us Part 2? That don't make no sense.
but yeah, the Supergiant Games has always made some really great games, and I mean, it's great that they got Game of the Year, and I think that's a great choice for sure. That and because of you saying that, and because of everybody the high praise, it's why like I wish I would have played that game. So I'll definitely check it out for sure.
The ironic thing is that it's actually kind of like Dark Souls in a sense, because when Dark Souls first came out, there were critics or reviewers who swore by it and said this game is like something different. It's crazy, and people didn't believe them at the time. Some people were very skeptical about that, and then here we are. And Dark Souls is literally its own genre. You know what I mean? So
no, for sure. Alice, are you done memeing? Do you actually have a game?
I really don't. That's the thing. Like, I mean, if any game was gonna like define the year, it's like I don't have anything that I like loved or that was like so amazing that like I really don't have anything. I have games that like looked. I don't know.
It's okay.
This was just like one of those years where it's like too, because like if I were to pick something out in particular, it's like it wasn't like game of the year, because like we were saying, I kind of had everything in segments. Things that were really, really great and really fun. It was like for just like a small segment of time though. So I really don't have anything. If anything, I would probably say Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Just for the fact of like it was the perfect game to come out at the perfect time with a situation that they could have never predicted. And it was great, but I also have so many gripes with that game, and I also overplayed it, so now I kind of just hate it. So I would say that would probably be my game of the year. That would just be Animal Crossing for what it was when it was, and like it was just like the perfect. But yeah, I don't know. This year was weird. I don't really have any like passion for anything. So
yeah. No, it's okay. But I do agree with you in the sense that like I think Animal Crossing was the perfect game for that time, and for us specifically because we were struggling a lot, not only financially but mentally as well, going into quarantine, that like even buying a video game was really like we shouldn't even be doing this. But I think that we needed it, and we needed to have that escape.
It was the perfect distraction for the moment when everything just went kind of shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
So that's probably, it was the perfect 2020 game.
Yeah. But and even regardless of it, like, you know, being burnt out on it, I still think that it deserves the respect for what it did for us specifically. Like, you know, that, yeah. So I that's not my game of the year, but I do want to make sure that we highlight it for sure. It's hard because I go back and forth between Destiny 2 Beyond Light, because that was a really good expansion. You know how much I love Destiny, and it was really fun being able to play.
You play Destiny?
Really fun being able to play with my group of friends.
he likes that game.
He plays it?
With, you know, Bubbles and Eli and Rose and
You have friends?
yeah, and the whole gang. And as much as Cyberpunk is really disappointing, I still really, really enjoy that game. And even though it hasn't grasped me as much as like something like Mass Effect, or like a game that has a lot of choices that actually mean something, because I feel like most of the choices in this game don't really mean anything, I still can't like shake loose the fact that this game exists, and it's beautiful. Like when it works, it's stunning. I love taking photos of other NPCs, not my character. My character is ugly, but other NPCs, and just like the world. It's literally like the perfect game that I always thought that was going to be, and just literally living in that world when you're playing and you're immersed into it until the bugs hit. Like it really hits me really well. So I think Cyberpunk is my game of the year, even though everyone hates it, but I'm genuinely enjoying it.
Dude, I literally don't even disagree with that. It's like I said, like as much criticism as I have of the game that it does deserve, I can't deny the fact that I actually really love that game. And the setting is like everything. The setting like really makes it for that game. Like it's catching a lot of flack, but it's a good game. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. Like I agree with you.
Yeah, I like, I'm not blinded by like, you know, how amazing the game is, and blinded by like the hype that I wanted. Like I see the issues. I know the issues. I've seen the frame rates. We talked about it on the last episode. I'm not discrediting that. Like it really needs work, and it needed polish. And we even said it last episode that it needed to be pushed back. And I want to see it at its full potential, but at the same time, I'm not going to let those things that like discourage me from enjoying the game. Because that's the whole point of us playing video games, is for you to create your own opinion on it. And if you're genuinely enjoying it, then genuinely enjoy it. but don't shit on people for, liking it when you haven't had that same experience.
Well, the last thing I wanted to say that's really funny is that there's a lot of people who, they're going after the refunds and stuff, but there have been several articles that have come up where people are mad because they can't keep the game at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it kind of sounds to me like some people aren't willing to admit that, hey, maybe the game's actually kind of fun at the same time, but they want that money at the same time. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's not how it works.
Well, my sister, she works at PlayStation, and she's been working a lot. She's been doing a lot of the refunds as well. And one of the things she said was somebody asked, like, can I just return the game because I didn't like it? Like, it's like, I thought I was going to be like my style, but I actually don't even play RPGs, but like, I just want to return it because I don't like it. Just like, what? Right. Not because of the bugs or anything like that. Just because like, you're just like, yeah, I'll buy it. I didn't like it. Let me get a refund. Yeah. That whole thing though, like when talking to my sister about that is actually super interesting, but I don't know how much I'm allowed to disclose. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Game of the year for Hades, Animal Crossing, Cyberpunk. You heard it here first on LxMDuo. That's our picks for Game of the Year. Justin, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me first and foremost on Twitch with the name Brave_Knight, capital B, capital K, and I'm also on Instagram pretty often, and that's, I know it's really complicated, but that one is Brave__Knight. So 2 underscores.
Double. You can't forget the other one.
But yeah, and but Twitch is the main place. I'm really trying to build that place up. So yeah.
When do you stream?
I stream. Good question. That'd probably help. I stream mostly on the weekends. I always stream on Fridays at 5 p.m. PST, and Saturdays I start at 12 p.m. PST. And Sundays we'll stream if we can. And that's why I should also bring up that my lovely wife has also started streaming too. So she streams on Sundays as well. If I can't stream, and that'll also be at 12 p.m. PST. Her channel being called, was it Slay Queens? Slay_Queen. Yes.
Work it.
Work it. You can't hear a snap in these, but yeah, check her out.
So Thanos actually couldn't snap?
Then it's proven here, Thanos couldn't actually snap. Listen to this. You like hear a little bit of something, but I'm not buying the ending of that movie. So
false claims, yeah.
Yeah, false claims.
Well, I want to thank you for finally joining us on Power On Weekly. We've been trying to get you on the show for a really long time, but you're very busy. You're very busy.
Yeah. Listen, it's been a good time, and I would definitely like to come back for sure, especially since I need to redeem myself after that that pop quiz or trivia. So yeah, gonna need to clear that up. Sorry I let some of you guys down out there.
It's okay. You're just like Donald and Goofy. If you want to check out Brave Knight, make sure to follow those links that we put in the description down below. Definitely check out his stream. He has great content, great community, very open arms, very welcoming. And then that's it for Power On Weekly. I hope you guys have a good new year. I hope you guys had a good Christmas and holiday, and we'll see you in the new year. But yeah, take it easy. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.